Alright, so I would want to remember a little bit of what we have discussed in the last class. Is this the completely full on now? That first class, few of the people were there, no? Now it is your responsibility. Please keep following up what is happening in the class. In case if you are missing on any of the sessions, fine. Anyways, we have not started with anything major. In the international financial markets, we have started understanding the exchange idea. Fine. So I was basically trying what all things I have spoken about, that what specifically is the bid and ask scenario when the exchange of currency has to happen at the international level. Besides that, I gave some understanding regarding what exactly is the spread concept is all about. And then we started talking about the direct quotes and indirect quotes. Fine. So today's session is definitely going to be a little hands-on session because we will try a few problems so that we can have an understanding regarding how this exchange needs to be managed. Right? So when we were talking about this quotes idea of quotations, what exactly do they say? That the exchange rate quotations मेरा पता है क्या ये वाला कौन फैन चलाओ ताकि ठंडा पानी बोले कि बिना Alright. So, what exactly we were talking about is the exchange rate quotations. They are published in the newspapers. They are normally reflecting the ask price for any large transaction. What exactly is the ask price? Like suppose if I am having dollars and I want to change them or exchange them into pounds. So I have to look for what is the ask price for the pounds. Right? That way I could understand that how many pounds I will be getting for $1,000. Right? Direct quotations, they normally represent the value of a foreign currency in dollars. Like if I am talking about direct quotation, if I say 75 rupees for $1, so this is a direct quotes idea because I am trying to tell that any foreign currency, how much I need to give for getting $1. Fine. But when we are talking about the indirect quotes, they represent number of units of a foreign currency per dollar. Like when we are talking about for 1 rupee, how many dollars? Fine. Now that is basically the number of foreign currency that it represents the number of units of the foreign currency per dollar. Fine. So when we are talking about indirect quotes, it is basically 1 by direct quotes. So normally in the paper, whatever quotes they are expressing you and if they are asking you to reverse the transaction for that particular currency, only thing that you have to do is take the reciprocal option. This is it, what we have to do here. Now see, there are few more things that you have to keep in mind, that always when the offer rate is being given, in that offer rate will be higher than the bid rate. What is offer rate? That is the ask rate. This is something I have discussed in the last class also, that your ask rate is always going to be higher than the bid rate. Both bid rate and offer rate can be quoted together. Now you can see if I am talking about $1 is equal to 0.5656 pounds and 0.5660. So जब ये ऐसे स्लैश के साथ आपको दोनों रेट्स मेंशन होता है, it means that the first one which is lesser one is the second one is the ask. समझ आ गया? सिंपल है, क्योंकि आज जब हम नॉर्मली प्रॉब्लम्स करेंगे मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस दे माइट बी एक्सप्रेसिंग इट लाइक दिस. So if you are expressing like this, you have to make out the first one is the bid rate, the second one is the ask. Right? The difference between the bid rate and the ask rate is the spread. This is also I informed you in the last class. In the above case, if we are looking at the gap between the bid and ask is of 0.0004. So, which is basically the spread for the bank. So, it means that if the buying and selling of dollar into pounds bank is going to do, there is a gap between that which will ideally be the income of the bank. Fine. So that we call as the spread or the difference between bid and ask. It is clear to everybody till here? Now, we will be looking into few examples here. Like let us see what exactly they are telling in this case. What are they telling? If direct quote is ₹39 per US dollars. ठीक है? सीधा सीधा इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं. They are telling that the direct quote here is ₹39 per dollar. Yeah, please take it. But occupy this side. So when they are asking us how can this exchange rate be represented under indirect quote, so I have already told you. What is indirect quote? 1 by direct quote. Kindly do it on your own and see whether you are getting the same answer. So this idea is clear to everybody because this mechanism you need to be clear with. The same thing. Always see what kind of information they are giving you in the problem. Now, as you are looking into the setting, everybody is able to get. You are understanding? Fine. Yeah. अभी हम बिल्कुल बेसिक्स कर रहे हैं. आपको समझ में आना चाहिए. Because जैसे ही प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे लॉजिक ही करना है. पूरा आईएफएस इज अबाउट लॉजिक. यहाँ कोई बहुत भारी मैथमेटिक्स नहीं करने वाला. It is only that your logic should develop correctly. You can manage everything. Fine. So if indirect code, now see if they are giving you the indirect code as 0.025 US dollars per rupee. So see when they are expressing the indirect code, what exactly is here? They are telling $0.025 per rupee. ठीक है ना? In case if now they are asking you to identify the direct quote from this, again the reciprocal of this will be. So you are getting 40 rupees. अभी देखो change करने में difference of 1 rupee आ गया. Isn't it? There is a difference. So that is what basically the change in exchange rate that we experience whenever the shift is happening from one particular currency to another. But now you all are clear with what is direct, what is indirect idea. Fine. When I am talking about direct quote, basically it is how many rupees per dollar, how many pounds per dollar, how many shillings per dollar, like that, whatever is the currency. Indirect quote is going to be 1 by your direct quote. Yes, please. Yes, please. Good morning. Now, this idea is clear. Let us move further. The next thing which is going to get more interesting if you will sit that side, no? Because Is that fine? Alright. So the next thing that we are talking about here is the cross rates. Now cross rates is another interesting thing to look at. What exactly is cross rate idea is all about? They say, see, every time it is not possible that every currency's denominations are given with the dollars. ऐसा भी होता है इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में that we are not expressing every particular currency with dollars. ठीक है ना? तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में आप क्या करोगे? पहले first you will convert that particular currency into any other currency which is expressed in dollars. करोगे ना ऐसा? अगर मुझे ट्रांजैक्शन करना है, ठीक है ना? और मेरे पास जो करेंसी है उसका डिनोमिनेशन डॉलर के साथ इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में एक्सप्रेस नहीं है. It is not being expressed in the international market. It means I do not know that how much of my currency is equal to $1. I do not have that clarity. So in that situation, I really need to look for some other currency where the pegging is being done with the dollars. Fine. So what exactly I will do? First, I will do the conversion of my currency into that currency, and from that currency, I will identify the dollar, and then only the final payment is going to be done, or the receipt is going to be managed. So when we are talking about this cross rates, what are they telling? A cross exchange rate reflects the amount of one foreign currency per unit of another foreign currency. So it is like, it is, suppose we have transacted with Russia. Russia is telling that I want my payment in euros. Now there is nothing which can help me in identifying how many rupees per euro. But there is an expression of rupees in dollars as well as expression of dollars in euros. So that is a cross rate idea from where I will identify how many rupees for euros. So this is what basically cross rate is all about. So what exactly they say? Value of one unit of currency A in the units of currency B. But what exactly we have to do? First we are expressing value of currency A in dollars, then we are dividing it with the value of currency B in dollars. No dollars. Put the heading cross rates and note it down. This is IF. इंटरनेशनल. बेटा एक्सचेंज कर रहे हैं ना हम, तो इंटरनेशनली करेंगे. इंडिया में तो रुपया चलता है, यहाँ पे जरूर नहीं, थोड़ा नॉर्मली होते रहना चाहिए ना क्लास में, नहीं तो सीरियस हो जाएगा. All right, everybody noted this one? I hope you all are getting know whatever I am talking, like nothing is confusing you. Because only thing is you should avoid confusion. कुछ भी difficult नहीं है IFM में, सिर्फ logic. Once you get the right logic, you can manage. So you will be anyways enjoying this subject. This is nice, interesting. I copy from your policy. Yes, Janet. Friendship management. Alright. Now see. Understand. Now this is going to be really interesting to look at. What exactly they are telling? A US resident converted 20,000 US dollars to 12,800 pounds. अब देखो situation को समझते हैं. So we are talking about one US president. What exactly he is having? He is having $20,000. What the conversion he is doing? He is converting them into 12,800 pounds. Right? What is the direct code for the exchange rate? Direct code for the exchange rate means how many pounds for $1. Fine. This is what the direct quote is all about. So what exactly we are supposed to do? What are they asking? What is the direct quote for the exchange rate prevalent at the time of transaction was made? So how are we going to identify it? First of all, because it has already been expressed very clearly that he is a US resident, so definitely dollars is going to be the domestic currency for him, isn't it? So what are they telling? US dollar is the domestic currency, while British pound is the foreign currency. Fine. In direct code, since exchange rate is expressed in terms of domestic currency per unit of foreign currency, so in this situation, actually, the idea is going to be like, what is our domestic currency here? In this case, the domestic currency is going to be dollars and foreign currency is going to be pounds. Fine. So for identifying the direct quote here, what we have to do? We have to express in terms of domestic currency per unit of foreign currency. Fine. So it means that the direct quote between US dollars and British pounds would be $1.5625 per pound, which we are going to calculate. How are we going to calculate this direct quote? It is very simple. Now,
direct means if one need domestic currency, how much?
So in this case, हमारा domestic currency dollar हो गया. तो हमें euro में express करना है.
1 unit dollar is how much? Euro per factor.
How 1 euro is equal to how many dollars now? तो हम एक्चुअली उसको हाँ, तो इंडियन रूपी हमारा डोमेस्टिक करेंसी है ना, तो हम उसे डॉलर में एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हैं. यहाँ पर लेकिन आपका डोमेस्टिक करेंसी ही डॉलर हो गया ना, क्योंकि यहाँ आपका डोमेस्टिक करेंसी डॉलर है, तो आपको उसे पाउंड्स में एक्सप्रेस करना पड़ेगा. एक्सप्रेस किसमें कर रहे हो? पाउंड्स में कर रहे हो ना, मतलब किसके लिए एक्सप्रेस थी? व्हाट आर दे टेलिंग? In terms of domestic currency per unit of foreign currency. देखो जब मैंने आपको बताया था, उसमें मैंने आपको per unit of dollar बताया था, because we are considering dollar as a foreign currency. ठीक है ना? In this particular case, dollar is your domestic currency, so you have to express it in the pounds. That is per unit of pound के लिए कितना डॉलर होगा? फिर से देखो, idea is very clear. For identifying direct quote, if I am in India, fine. So what exactly I need to express? How many rupees for $1? ठीक है?
यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ था 1 rupee is equal to how much?
हाँ, how many rupees is equal to $1? कहाँ पे क्या लिखा है?
यहाँ लिखा है 1 rupee is equal to how much? 1 rupee is equal to how much?
नहीं, कौन से वाले में लिखा है? लास्ट क्लास में हमने ये वाला प्रॉब्लम देखा था ना, दिस वन वी हैव चेक एंड दिस वन वी हैव चेक, क्लियर only we have done, no? अच्छा ठीक है, whatever you have written just make the correction what explanation I am giving you now according to that. Fine. So do not confuse between this direct quote and indirect quote. What exactly? See, देखो मैंने यहाँ पे भी आपको लिस्ट कराया है ना अभी. This only you have noted down, no? Now checking this one. What are they telling? Direct quote means the value of a foreign currency in dollars. Fine. While indirect quotes represents the number of units of the foreign currency per dollar. So जब हम डोमेस्टिक और फॉरेन करेंसी के बीच में डायरेक्ट कोट्स और इनडायरेक्ट कोट्स निकाल रहे हैं, उस टाइम पे वी हैव टू ऑलवेज रिमेंबर और वी हैव टू ऑलवेज लुक इनटू व्हाट इज आवर डोमेस्टिक करेंसी. ठीक है, whichever is your domestic currency, in that domestic currency you have to express how many per unit of the foreign currency. Fine. So if you are in India and if I have to give you the direct quote, I will always give 75 rupees per dollar. So this is a direct quote that I am talking about. Fine. But if suppose you have to ask me that how many dollars per rupee, so then it is an indirect quote. So that is going to be the basic total. Then I have to do 1 by 75 to find out how many dollars per rupee. समझ में आ गया बात? Clear now? So in this particular case, what exactly they are asking us? They are clearly asking us that you find the direct. So when they are asking you to find the direct quote, first you have to understand which is your domestic currency, which is your foreign currency. Once you define your domestic currency, you will be identifying how much of domestic currency per unit of foreign currency you have to give. So in this particular case, because 20,000 is our domestic currency, so just do 20,000 divided by 12,800. So you are basically getting $1.5625, that is per pound. ठीक है? Because in case if you have to identify, if you have to make the payment in pounds, dollar is your domestic currency, so you are identifying how many dollars for 1 pound. Is it clear? Note down this one. Are you noting it down, please? जितना प्रॉब्लम मैं बता रही हूँ ना, वो सारे आप नोट डाउन करो जिससे आपके पास पूरा सीक्वेंस ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग. No need to write the complete details. Main points लिख दो. Domestic currency डॉलर है तो कितना डॉलर है, foreign currency pounds है, so how many pounds are there, and direct quote how we are identifying dollar by pound. So we are getting these many dollars per pound. So you will have little clarity. Is it clear? Now, please. Alright, now let us look at the next statement. What are they telling in the next statement? They say that exchange rate between US dollars and Swiss franc is 0.92 Swiss francs per US dollar. When anything is being expressed in currency of Switzerland. Fine. So if you are in Switzerland or if you are the resident of the Switzerland, now this is your domestic currency expressed in the foreign currency. So this will be a direct code for Switzerland residents. ठीक है ना? Because this is their domestic currency and this is the foreign currency. So this much of the domestic currency they need to give for $1. Is it clear to everybody? You are understanding? Catching up? Now see. If we are talking about the, like they are also clearly telling that it is a direct code for Swiss residents because from Switzerland perspective, it is quoted as units of domestic currency per unit of foreign currency. And indirect code would be, so if we really want to identify indirect code, yes. So indirect code means how many dollars per Swiss franc. Just the reversal of the idea. So an indirect code is going to be 1 by 0.92. Now see, when we are talking about how are they expressing it, 1.087 US dollar per Swiss franc. So what you are getting as answer here, $1.087 per Swiss franc. ठीक है, समझ में आया? So if we are looking from the US perspective, now this is a direct code for them because dollars is their domestic currency and Swiss franc is foreign currency. समझ में आ रही चीज? अब आप लोगों को are getting the clarity here what is direct and indirect code if we have to understand from the perspectives of domestic and foreign currency. Clear? So once you take the reciprocal of one direct code, it actually becomes the direct code for the other country and indirect code for your country. Is it clear? So this part is clear to everyone. Let us move to the next. Now see, in this particular statement, what are they telling? They are telling exchange rate between US dollars and Canadian dollars. Now see how are they expressing? Let me write it for you. 1.0211 dollars per Canadian dollar, then 1.013 dollars per Canadian dollars. अब यहाँ पे there is something I have already told you that the quotations can also come as where the bid and ask rate are going to be kept together. Fine. So this is that particular situation where the bid and ask rates for a particular currency are being kept here together. This part is specifically talking about the bid rate and this part is talking about the ask. Okay, when the exchange rates are expressed as a bid ask quotes, a reciprocal of the bid rate in direct quote becomes the ask quote in indirect quote. What exactly I have told you? Can you make out? क्या बोला मैंने? Yes. मगर कभी जब इसका भी indirect quote होगे, इसका भी indirect quote होगा, ठीक है? If I am taking indirect quote of this will become my ask rate. समझ में आ गया? If I will take the reciprocal of this, it will become my bid rate. Fine? You are getting it? Now see, listen once again. What are they telling? A reciprocal of the bid rate in direct quote becomes the ask code in the indirect code, and the reciprocal of the ask rate in direct code becomes the bid rate in the indirect code. So indirect code for exchange rate between US dollars and Canadian dollars for the US residents would be like this. So can you try working it out? Give me the other expression by looking into identifying. देखो इन्होंने आपको क्या दिया था? They have given you this information. ठीक है? सबसे पहले as per this information दोनों ends का reciprocal निकालो. So first reciprocal of this is how much? 0.979. कितना है? 0.9793. ठीक है? अच्छा, अब हमने क्या कर लिया? इनिशियली हमको कैसे दिया था इन्होंने? डॉलर्स पर कैनेडियन डॉलर. तो रेसिप्रोकल हो गया. तो अब क्या बन जाएगा? कैनेडियन डॉलर्स पर डॉलर. समझ आ रही है बात? ठीक है? इसी तरह से इसका निकालो. 0.9791. सेम चीज यहाँ पे भी फॉलो करेंगे. कैनेडियन डॉलर्स पर. ये स्टेटस क्लियर हो गया. उसके बाद उन्होंने क्या बोला? जो इसका बिट है, जिसका भी आप रेसिप्रोकल निकाल रहे हो, वो आप आस्क बनेगा. और जो इसका आस्क है, जब आप उसका रेसिप्रोकल निकालोगे तो वो बिट बनेगा. तो इसका मतलब नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू एक्सप्रेस इट लाइक दिस. पर डॉलर टू 0.9793 कैनेडियन डॉलर्स. देखो ऐसे एक्सप्रेस किया ना. कैचिंग इट? समझ आ रहा है? डू इट इन योर नोटबुक्स नाउ. Do it. Don't feel lazy right now. If you will do it now, it will help you later on. Because मेरा भी, I am also studying, learning it, then bringing it and explaining it to you in class. After 2-3 years gap, I am taking this particular subject. So if you will do it with me, तो मुझे भी satisfaction रहेगा कि yes, whatever we are doing in class, you are able to manage it. Now, once 2-3 classes we will do, then I will start bringing the previous year question papers also. With you doing solution here, we will also cover the previous year question papers. That is second. So this mechanism is clear. अभी हमें पूरी तरीके से direct and indirect code clear. We all are able to manage that now in all the ways. Now there should not be any confusion in your mind regarding what is direct code and what is indirect code, and how exactly in all the possibilities it can be expressed. So you know it when it is being given as an information, where separately they are giving you some kind of an exchange rate and asking you to identify direct or indirect code, and you also know when it is being given into this form of bid and ask scenario, you can identify the indirect code here. Fine. So when we have discussed regarding indirect code, there is one more quotation that we have to look into, that is European quotation. So this is almost same to what we were talking about. So this is again what I have already expressed it to you, that it refers to seeking number of units of foreign currency for 1 unit of home currency. यही है ना indirect code. This is what you have studied. Indirect code is the reporting of foreign exchange rate in terms of the units of foreign currency per unit of domestic currency. So for a resident of the United States intending to buy or sell British pounds, it needs exchange rates to be expressed in the British pounds per unit of US dollars. Formula that we have already understood, that is the when we are talking about the direct code of the one foreign currency unit is equal to certain number of own currency units. When we are talking about indirect code, one unit of one home currency unit is equal to certain numbers of foreign currency units. So let us look at this one particular example. Just see here. What are they telling? They say that an Australian resident converted 5 lakh Australian dollars to 45 lakhs. Find the indirect code for the Australian residents. ठीक है? आप देखो इसमें इन्होंने क्या क्या इंफॉर्मेशन दिया है. You try this on your own. First of all, what is the domestic currency here?
Australian dollar.
Australian dollars. ठीक है? So when we are talking about Australian dollars, how many Australian dollars are there? 5 lakh Australian dollars are there. What is the foreign currency here? That is Japanese yen. Fine. So, how many Japanese yen?
45. Yeah. 4 crore.
So, what are they asking you here? They are asking you to find the indirect code for the Australian resident. Now, how are you going to do that? What is that indirect code? Fine. So, can you do it?
902.7.
Same you are getting or different you are getting?
That is 14. Now, we must say 5 lakh.
So now see what exactly they have done. What exactly you told me. Now what are we about to do here? Because it is an indirect code. In which form we are supposed to express? क्या expression है? One domestic. So our domestic here is Australian dollar is equal to how many Japanese yen. ठीक है ना? ये expression है. So what are they telling? For an Australian resident, Australian dollar is the domestic currency, while Japanese yen is the foreign currency. So the indirect code expresses foreign currency in terms of 1 unit of domestic currency. So the indirect code in this situation would be 90.2784 Japanese yen per Australian dollar. That is whatever number of Japanese yen per 5 lakh Australian dollar you have to find out to get the indirect code. Is it clear to everybody? You are understanding, Vismaya? Fine? Now, when we are trying to identify the direct code for this, what exactly is going to be the direct code idea? What are they talking about? They are saying relevant direct code will be these many Japanese yen per Australian dollar. Fine? So this basically is the direct code that we are looking from the which perspective? Direct code for whom it is? किसके लिए डायरेक्ट कोड है?
डायरेक्ट कोड जापानीज डॉलर
इन्होंने किसका डायरेक्ट कोड निकाला?
ऑस्ट्रेलियन.
अगर ऑस्ट्रेलियन रेजिडेंट का डायरेक्ट कोड होता तो वो ऑस्ट्रेलियन डॉलर्स में एक्सप्रेस होगा ना, यहाँ किसमें एक्सप्रेस हो रहा है?
मैम डायरेक्ट कोड वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट लाइक if you take one foreign currency, how much you will get in domestic?
That's what I am telling. So if I am asking you the What are they telling? They are telling that there is a relevant direct code would be. So if we are looking at this particular direct code, what exactly are they expressing here? These many Japanese yen per Australian dollar. So it is basically the direct code for Japanese residents. Are you understanding? Why is it for Japanese resident? Because expression is in the Japanese currency per Australian dollar. So here per Australian dollar it means that is a foreign currency and Japanese yen is a domestic currency. Fine? So that is how we are identifying. So when you are talking about this indirect code, from indirect code to direct code, when you are expressing, that is going to be the direct code for the Japanese citizens. Catching it?
हमारा indirect Japanese के लिए होता है direct.
हाँ.
So what we get indirect here?
Yes.
That will be the direct for Japanese. What we get direct, that is indirect for the Japanese. But
Yes.
how is it possible for indirect? That they are.
No, see, what we have done in this, when we are talking about the indirect code, so what exactly we have done in indirect code? We have expressed that how many, what are they telling? 90.2784 Japanese yen per Australian dollar. ये इनडायरेक्ट कोड है ना, इसी का अगर रेसिप्रोकल होगे तो वो डायरेक्ट कोड बनेगा ना, लेकिन डायरेक्ट कोड वो जापानीज सिटीजन्स के लिए ही बनेगा, हमारा डायरेक्ट कोड नहीं बनेगा. हमारा इनडायरेक्ट कोड कब बनेगा? जब आप इसका रेसिप्रोकल हो. दिस इज द डायरेक्ट कोड फॉर देयर करेंसी. When you will be taking the reciprocal,
When we will take the reciprocal, we will find out that 90.2. So we have to write down one AUD divided with Japanese.
You have to do the reverse of that. So in this scene, what you have done, you have basically considered Japanese yen divided by the Australian dollars. So you are getting the value according to that. Because for telling earlier also you have done the problem. पहले तो दोनों देखा, अब एक ये भी है. इसको निकालो, ये कितना है? फाइंड आउट दिस.
0.017.
This is, it is still here, no? So exactly ये क्या बोल रहा है? आपने जब ये क्वेश्चन निकाला है, what exactly you are finding in this? What are you finding in this? These many Australian dollars or Japanese yen. ये निकाला ना आपने? तो ये आपका कोड है. This is the code in your currency, where your Australian dollars is your domestic currency and Japanese yen is the foreign currency. समझ में आ रही है बात? ठीक है ना? देखो, जब भी हमको एक्सप्रेशन क्रिएट करना है, और if you remember there was one more problem we have done. I will just show you that one. देखो ये वाला भी तो प्रॉब्लम अभी आपने किया था ना. What exactly you have done in this problem? What are we talking about? A US resident converted $20,000 into 12,800 pounds. In this, they are clearly asking you find out the direct code for the exchange rate prevalent at that time. हमने सीधा सीधा क्या किया? हमारा डोमेस्टिक करेंसी डॉलर्स था, उसको फॉरेन करेंसी से डिवाइड करा, and the expression that we are getting is that these many dollars per Now उसमें देखो these many dollars per pound. So वही चीज यहाँ पे किया ना हमने these many Australian dollars per Japanese yen.
This is in the example that the Australian dollar Japanese, this is reverse Japanese.
वही मैं बताने का कोशिश कर रही हूँ. That is what I am trying to tell you. See.
This is not. This is for direct. This is direct.
See, this is. अभी देखो. This is direct quote for Australian dollars. समझ में आई बात? ठीक है? This is direct quote for Australian dollars. वहाँ उन्होंने आपसे क्या find out करने के लिए बोला है? They are asking you to find the. So जब आपको indirect quote find करना है, so
वो जो लिखा है 90.2 solid.
ये ठीक है. So यहाँ पर हमको जितना मिल रहा है 90.2784 पर ऑस्ट्रेलियन. ठीक है? समझ में?
Here one mistake here in that element direct quote would be that 0.11 is the quote, but then write the Japanese yen divided by Australian dollar.
वो बेसिकली वो क्या बोलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. तो आपको देखो यहाँ पर आ गया ना आपका रेलेवेंट डायरेक्ट कोड वही वाला आ गया ना. दैट सेम यू आर गेटिंग एज द रेलेवेंट डायरेक्ट कोड. सो दिस इज व्हाट दे आर ट्राइंग टू टेल यू. They are also trying to say the same thing, that from one particular end when they are identifying, it is the indirect quote here. सीधी सी बात है, इसमें कॉम्प्लिकेशन कहीं पे भी नहीं है. आपको जिस डिनोमिनेशन में वो पूछ रहे हैं आपको उसके हिसाब से डिवाइड करना है. If they are asking you in the direct scenario, your home currency should come as the numerator. If they are asking you in the foreign currency denomination, your home currency should come as a denominator. Fine. So that is how you have to manage. Is it clear? Now let us look at one more problem here. What are they talking about? Now see. Euro USD exchange rate. Now they are mentioning the Euro USD. Yes, Arun, please. Euro USD exchange rate is 1.3391 to 1.3392. So this is bid and ask price. This is the direct quote for a resident of the European Union. Fine. So if it is a direct quote, how are you going to write it? If it is a direct quote, how are you going to write it?
$1 how much you are getting? We are getting
देखो मैं actually क्यों कर रही हूँ? It is 1.3392. अभी वो बोलते हैं कि this is the direct quote for the resident of the European Union. तो अभी मुझे कैसे एक्सप्रेस करना चाहिए इसको?
1.39
यहाँ पे पहले बताओ क्या आना चाहिए?
यहाँ पे euro divided by
Yes, this is going to be euros
Yeah.
per US dollars. This is also going to be euros per US dollars. ठीक है? क्योंकि वो clearly बोल रहे हैं that it is a direct quote for the European residents. तो अगर ये European residents का direct quote है, तो how many of the euros per dollar? How many of the euros per dollar? Home currency to foreign currency. Home currency to foreign currency. Clear? Now, since the exchange rate is quoted as a bid ask, we find reciprocals of both prices and switch their positions to get the relevant indirect quote. So now, do it. And what should be your relevant indirect quote? Are you are understanding? Done? You're getting? So because this is bid rate, this is ask rate. Fine. When we are going to get the indirect quotes, what are we doing? First case, we are taking the receivable first. So how much we are getting here?
0.74677.
0.74677. Now the reverse of the currency has to happen. So this is like that. Okay. Next situation. 1.339. How much it is? 0.767.
67. 67. 67.
What is it? 67. All right. Now see, this was the bid here, so this will become the ask. Okay? This was the ask here, so this will become the bid. So if now I am going to write it, I will be writing it 0.7471 dollars per euro to 0.74677 dollars per. ठीक है ना? This mechanism is clear. अच्छा, अब जब हमको ये mechanism clear है ना, now only we are ready to get into the cross rate idea. Because I told you that there is something like cross rates. Now I am going to give you the clarity on what is cross rates. Little bit introduction I will give you, then we will take it forward in the next class. Okay, I have a transition session. No? So what exactly are we talking about the cross rate idea? Cross rate का logic की crossing. When they say cross rates, they actually mean some crossing of currency is going to happen. Right? What do they say? The cross rate is the currency exchange rate between currency A and currency C, derived from the exchange rate between currency A and currency B and between currency B and currency C. तो देखो actually में हम कैसे जा रहे हैं? हमें जाना A से C के पास, लेकिन A करेंसी को C में कन्वर्ट करने का कोई प्रोविजन नहीं। तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं? पहले A करेंसी को B करेंसी में कन्वर्ट करके उसका वैल्यू आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं और साथ में B करेंसी को C करेंसी में कन्वर्ट करने का ऑप्शन आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं एंड थ्रू दिस पर्टिकुलर कन्वर्जन I am trying to reach to C. This is what cross rate is all about. Currency vendors provide quotes for only the most liquid currencies, such as the US dollars, pounds, euros, Swiss francs, etc. Exchange rates between other currencies is normally calculated as the cross rates using the quotes for major currencies. So the formula that we are using here is the midpoint exchange rate quotes. The midpoint cross rate can be derived from using this particular formula. So if I am looking for the expression of how many of A currency for C currency, यही करके ना मैं find out that how many of A currency for C currency. I can identify it by going through this one. ठीक है, यहाँ पे bid और ask जैसे ऑप्शन नहीं है. If bid and ask is going to be given, we will identify we are considering a midpoint. Right? Midpoint of A, midpoint of B, midpoint of C. With that we are identifying. So note down this particular thing. You can take it from the slide. हाँ, same formula क्या है? Logic है बस. I will explain it to you. So this is clear to everybody. What exactly are they telling? Now let us understand a little further. What are they telling? A and B and currency B and C respectively. If instead of B to C, we had an exchange rate in terms of C to B, then in that terms, that is direct quote versus indirect quote scenario, we would need to take a reciprocal of the exchange rate because we always want to express it in this form. हमारे फॉर्मूला के हिसाब से हमें इस फॉर्म में चाहिए. अगर आपके प्रॉब्लम में तो आपको इस फॉर्म में एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हैं तो आपको उसका रेसिप्रोकल लेना है एंड देन यू हैव टू अगेन ब्रिंग इट बैक टू दिस. Is it clear to everybody? Now, if we have exchange rates in the form of bid-ask quotes, we can derive the bid-ask cross rates by multiplying the bid rate of one currency with the ask of the other, such that the common currencies cancel out and vice versa. Fine. So when this kind of thing we have to do with the bid and ask quote, so the transaction is going to happen or the complete multiplication is going to happen with the bid of one currency with the ask of another currency. Or otherwise, if they are giving you the midpoints, like simply they are expressing it as 0.525 euros per dollar. तो ये midpoint value होता है, ठीक है? This is midpoint. But if they are expressing it in this form, then they are definitely going to talk about two currencies being expressed in this form. Then one currency is bid, another currency is asked needs to be considered. Fine, this is clear for everyone. So in case if you want to note it down, please. I'm not starting with the problems. Manikanda,